All right, guys, thanks for joining here today. Today we're going to talk about a new integration that Followup has, which is a pretty powerful integration. It's called Zapier. Post in the chat. I'm curious, have you heard of Zapier before? Is this a new system or software that you've never heard of before? Post that in the chat. Okay, you've heard of it? Great, great. So just to give you a broad overview of what Zapier does so that you can relate it to Followup CRM and what we do, um, basically what Zapier is, think of it as a spider web connecting your tools and your softwares that you utilize at your company. And so Zapier is a separate company from Followup, has its own thing, and it creates workflows between popular applications that are out there. So here's an example. This I just stole this right from their website. More time for doing what matters most, less time on repetitive tasks means more time for whatever gets you out of bed in the morning. So, for example, when I get a new email, then Zapier facilitates the connection and workflow to do this. So when this happens, do this, save that attachment, maybe in like a OneDrive or some kind of folder, and then send me a chat notification. So it connects, in this scenario, 3 different softwares for a workflow that you can design. So this is a good time to mention that you're going to have a Zapier account and profile in order to do that. So that's what Zapier does at a high level. So what I want to know is if you can post in the chat, just make a list for me of the different softwares that you are using at your company alongside of Followup. For example, are you using Google Sheets? Are you using Gmail, Trello, Facebook, Google Drive? These are just some that I saw on their website. Outlook. What are some of the other? Constant Contact is a very popular one. Okay, 365. What else are you using? Okay, Calendly, great. So now with Calendly, we can integrate Followup with Calendly, if it makes sense to. So what else? Bluebeam, okay, great. So now the question to answer is, does the other software that I'm using, for example, Bluebeam, does that integrate with Zapier? If it does integrate with Zapier, then it also integrates with Followup. So I'm not sure if Zapier integrates with Bluebeam, but we can definitely do a search and check on that to see if it does. And if it does, then we can create a workflow from Followup to Bluebeam there. So here we are. The next slide here, you can see Followup CRM is now there if you search for it within the Zapier app store. And so we kind of talked about this already, but what apps are you using? I didn't see a response from everybody. So if you haven't posted in the chat of what other applications you're using, post those in the chat. And then I'm going to show you basically a live demonstration of how this could potentially work together at your company. Now, if you want to use one of the apps that you're using, I'm happy to pull that up through my Zapier account so you can see that. So let me just minimize this here. And I'm going to bring up Zapier and walk you through how it works. So I'm going to start really elementary here, just setting up an account. So if you go directly to the Zapier website, you can sign in or sign up with an account. And once you sign up with an account, it'll take you to what they call is a Zap Builder. right? And so let me drag that over here. Once you have an account, it's going to look something like this. And you can see create your own workflow. Know exactly what you want to build, select the apps you want to connect, and start your custom setup. So here's where this comes into play. This is where you have to be imaginative on what you want to do. So I'm going to say, let's say, Followup CRM. I want to connect Followup CRM, and then I also wanted to connect it to QuickBooks. If you're using QuickBooks Online, you can create an integration just like that, right? And then you'll see the next step in the process here. What we are asked is when this happens in Followup CRM, then do this in QuickBooks Online. I'm not sure if you're using QuickBooks Online, but this allows this type of integration. So here's an example. We have things called triggers within Followup, and we also have things called actions, right? When this happens is a trigger, then do this as an action. And so we can add triggers and actions moving forward depending on your use case, but your feedback is critical to that. So if there's a trigger and action that you're needing, let us know, we'll put it on the backlog. But here we go. You can see those are the different QuickBooks triggers, but we can say when a project data is entered, then create, let's see, a invoice or find an invoice, create a vendor. Let's just do create a bill, send an invoice, update customer, create a customer, right? So let's say you win a new client. So create a customer in QuickBooks when a project data in Followup is created. So now I click try it. It's going to bring you to the detailed Zap builder. Okay, so here's really where the magic happens. Number one, you have to connect your Followup account. And so this is probably the most complicated part, but it's pretty easy. You can see here, Followup CRM is a secure partner with Zapier. Your credentials are encrypted and can be removed. And so what you need to do is set up your token. So if you click on that, it takes you to all the details. My account is already connected, as you can see when you choose your account. But if you need to connect a new your account, it will take you to the place within Followup to get your API credentials. If you need help with that, happy to help. We have articles, videos, step-by-step to do that. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna select your account and then continue. Let me get the right account here. Let's try this one. Nope. Okay, so here we can test our triggers when this happens in Followup. So what you're going to be able to do is actually say, when a contract enters a sales status, then do this in Followup. So you can see this is the project data. You can see the project name, address, all that kind of information, all the different steps, the behaviors. You can even say, for example, when a new lead comes in from my website, enter in a Followup sales behavior, right? So you can get pretty creative with this. So there's a lot of data here. I'm just going to continue here. And then QuickBooks. I don't have a QuickBooks account. We don't use QuickBooks here, but you can see here QuickBooks Online, and then you would also have to connect your QuickBooks Online account and then continue. Sign in, you can see how it's prompting you to sign in. Once you sign in, it will do that. So once you close a contract in Followup, it would automatically create, so you have no more of that data entry, which is the nirvana of software, right? Everybody has these disconnected softwares, and what we're trying to do is glue them together so we're not double entering, triple entering, quadruple entering data. Zapier gives us one step in that direction. So not every software is connected to Zapier, but there's 3,000 plus applications there. So it may or may not. So once that is officially created, you see this on and off trigger, you turn it on, and then you watch the data flow. It's that simple. So there's a lot of different ways you can connect applications. I want to check out Bluebeam to see if that's possible. Let's see here. So if you want to see if your application is on Zapier, you could just come in. Oh, look at that, Bluebeam. William, can you tell me, oh, let's see. That's unfortunate. Bluebeam has not built an integration on Zapier, but it's upcoming. So that means they're working on it. Hopefully this year that will be available, and then you'll be able to create a workflow to and from Followup from there. Are there any apps from the people on the call here today that you would like me to investigate here with us? I don't see any just yet, so I'll allow you to put that in the chat. Another one that we see pretty often is connecting your website, right? So I'm not sure if you know much about your websites, if it's on WordPress, for example. WordPress is very popular website hosting and builder. And you can, let's see here, I want to create a Zap between WordPress and Followup. So we'll check those out. So WordPress, right here, choose an event. You can see all of these events within WordPress, and then you can create a new file within Followup CRM. So a lot of people do that. We're trying to get other construction industry companies like Building Connected and Dodge to connect with that, because then those bids and leads would flow right into Followup CRM. So that's the real value. There's really infinite opportunities when it comes to Zapier and the other connections that are possible, but this is the step in the right direction to have one integrated company so that the data is clean across different sources. So I just want to open up the chat for any questions. Does anyone have any questions around the Zapier integration? All right, well, if there's no questions, then feel free to create a Zapier account, connect it with your Followup account, and then have at it. Really, what I would do is go through each process, see if that other application is connected to Zapier, and then build your workflows so that you can have a connected brain that all your data is flowing to and forth from. So if you need any help on this, just to point you in a couple of directions, go to followupcrm.com. I can send you a link to these resources as well. We have our support center right here, and just do a quick Zapier search. How to set up integrations with Zapier. We have a video that walks you through as a new Zapier account, with screenshots and everything to make sure it's an easy process for you. So if you have any questions in the meantime, reach out to us via the chat. Let us know if there's anything else. Well, you guys have a good weekend.